La 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 la. La 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 la. Dun dun dun
Hi YouTube, it's me, Max Brickman. Yo, what's up? And have I got a treat for you. It is called Anakin's Podracer 20th Anniversary Edition. That's right, 279 pieces of Star Wars goodness, containing the 1999 Luke Skywalker collectible minifigure, Padme Amidala holding a dagger made of pure air and sand. And we got mini Anakin Skywalker with a giant wrench and tiny legs. You want to see the back? There's some sort of a handle. I don't really know what that's indicating. I have the original 1999 Anakin's Podracer. That Podracer scene really blew my mind when I was 7 years old in 1999 and this came out. Oh, I have revealed my age. Don't do the math. 20 years ago, I was a young lad buying this very set. And now, I'm an old lad buying the same set again. But this time, Padme has flesh-colored skin, as does Anakin. And that might be the main difference. I don't know. Let's find out. I hope that this one is better. All that and more today on Max Brickman, guy who rebuilds Star Wars Lego sets 20 years later. Picture this. It's 1999. You are a 7-year-old boy. Bill Clinton was president, and George W. Bush won the presidency due to hanging chads. Star Wars Episode 1. They tell you how it all began, how it all starts, where it all comes from.
There was an annoying orange Jamaican amphibian man whom most people really hated.
Man, this thing still is pretty cool. They got that tan there to represent sand, so it would sort of blend in with some other tan colored stuff and kind of create the illusion that the pod and the engines are not connected, which for the time was a good choice. This Podracer only ever existed on Tatooine, a very sandy place, and they didn't really have as many translucent pieces, certainly not of that length, as they do today, so I think for the time, this worked pretty well. Wow. What a beautiful rendition of Anakin's Podracer from 1999. Now, let's see what it looks like today. What has LEGO brought us? What has the major update been in the past 20 years? Has technology truly advanced to the degree where we can't even imagine what we see now 20 years ago? Were we able to travel backwards in time? I'm going to open it. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah. Just like that. We got the pipe pieces. Well, that'll be the cable that connects the engines to the pod if I've ever seen it. Stickers. Sort of curled. I'm a little concerned. Instructions. Oh, wow. There's a message about 20 years ago in 3 languages. Il y a bien long temps dans un studio de design lointain. Hace 20 años, hace mucho tiempo, en un estudio de diseño muy lejano, empezamos a reimaginar los vehículos, personajes y escenas más oh my god, representativos del universo Star Wars. Okay, next time I'm going to read the English version first so that I have some context to guide me with the Spanish version that I don't really understand. So this is what the real Anakin's Podracer looks like. Is that Sebulba's pod blowing up in the background? I hope so, because Sebulba is terrible. Here we go. We have the 20 years anniversary plaque. All right, here we go. We're going to build this, the frame of the pod itself, and Luke Skywalker, the commemorative plaque. Wow, these are so cool. Look at that. Translucent Technic beam. You got these 3 long ones, 15's, the longest beam length. A couple of these L-shaped beams. I'm very, very excited. I sure do like beams. Beams. Bag 1 is in the bag. It's out of the bag and in together. It's bag 1 is one done. Bag 1. So this is looking pretty interesting. The pod is complete. There you go. A lot of stickers. Gotta say, a lot of stickers, which I don't love. They had some detail, but it's not really adding much for me, and it was annoying, and I did a bad job of them, which is also annoying. Oh well. So this appears to be the handle, which is made for smaller hands than mine, but that's okay. Gosh, it's almost like a gun. It's like a rail gun. Cool. Alright, it's a good start. Really love those translucent beams. They are making it. And I'm thinking also when this is all said and done, hopefully it will balance on this point. which means there's got to be a lot of weight on the front. But pod racers are mostly engine. I think it's time for bag 2. There's bag 2 for you. Pretty small, not a ton of stuff. Bag 2 is the right engine. So we got a couple of gears, which I think are going to make up some greebling detail of the engine. And what are these? Copper Uruk-hai swords? Yeah, look at that. Little copper Uruk-hai swords from Lord of the Rings.
Meat's back on the menu.
They're still using these same little ratchet flaps that we had in the original. Why mess with success? Also, pink Sith lightning, just for Jar Jar's tongue. Pretty cool. Starting to get the appeal of this thing. Look at the detail in this engine. It's huge. You even got these little yellow flaps that Anakin used to vent the smoke from the burning engine fire. That's what I call attention to detail. And the size of the engine relative to the pod, that looks just about right. I'm excited to see that balance in the middle with the second engine. Let's build it now. Bag 3. Much the same as bag 2, but with some extra minifigures. Look at all those sweet pieces. Finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. The minifigures. That looks like Padme's torso. Where's her head? There it is. Oh, she's not happy. No, let's keep, yeah. Where's that hair? That trademark. Whoa. Look at all these extra braids and things. Yeah, that's pretty great. Anakin, you're terrible. Aha. Happy or forlorn? Let's go with forlorn. Maybe cranky? Dejected. That's it. Brown helmet. Dark gray goggles. Oh yeah. There they are. Anakin and Padme. Let's get to the build. And thus, it is finished. And wow, this thing is sweet. It stands a couple inches off the ground, perpetually hovering, which I think is very cool. And that translucent beam in the center really works to create the illusion of separation between the engines and the pod, which makes this look so cool. The beam in the middle there is excellent, connecting the two engines using these two lightning pieces. Yeah. I like that. What a champ. He built this whole pod himself as like a 6-year-old boy or whatever. Very impressive. I'm a little confused as to why they gave Padme this enormous stormtrooper rifle. I'm pretty sure the gun she uses in the movies is like a much smaller pistol, which they definitely make, but I'm not really complaining because I love these rifles, and usually they just give you those stupid stud shooter things, so always happy to expand the collection. And now, for the comparison.
Compare this. Tell me what you think.
I have to say, this original one holds up really, really well. I think it's pretty darn cool. I love the use of that orange beam piece there in the middle. The laser beam connecting the two engines. I think that looks very cool. The pod is shaped really nicely as well. And I love these original prints on the pod. The minifigures aren't bad either. This was back in the day when Lego was still doing yellow for Star Wars. But I think it looks pretty good. That Anakin costume is great. He's got that little mesh, what is that? Like a mesh collar. He's got 3 freckles on either side of his face. Although the boy didn't have freckles in the movie. I think it makes him look youthful. And that distinctive pod racing helmet. Padme looks great. She has her desert tunic, a expression of utter distaste, and this very cool, unique hairpiece. Also, you can't forget the inclusion of the brick-built pit droid, although it's enormous. Far larger than a pit droid should be. And it folds up. Kind of. It kind of folds up, like in the movie. And you press his nose, and he unfolds. It's not bad. It's not bad. Boom! Well, the first thing I'll say is that the remake is bigger. It's not a lot bigger, but it is bigger. The fact that it's hovering off the ground makes it a little bit more imposing as well. Overall, the design is more faithful to the movie. All of the greebling in that engine looks very nice, makes it look complicated. They got the pod shape a little bit closer to how it is in the movie with those extended wing tip babies on there. There are some things about it that I don't like as much as the original. There are a lot of stickers on the pod. A lot of them. And I don't like the stickers. I don't like putting them on. I didn't even really do a very good job, but that's the thing with stickers. It's up to you. The handles of the pod are much more accurate to how they looked in the movie as well. Sort of that sideways horizontal thing instead of the traditional levers they put in the old version. And for the sake of comparison, let's add in the teeny little one that came in a mini bag that they also released. Nice. This one's actually pretty cool as well. They've used the purple lightsaber piece as that energy beam, and it too has those little yellow flaps to release smoke when there are engine fires. Now let's compare the figures. I think there's a clear winner here for the figures. The new ones look much better. They have the flesh-colored faces, which look great. And both of them use slightly shorter legs than the standard, which I think is a really good choice for Anakin, as he was a tiny boy in the movie. But it was kind of a weird choice, I think, for Padme, who was young but seemingly full height. I would have given Anakin the medium legs that actually bend, Padme the normal legs, and then you could get Anakin in the pod without standing up. I hate these stupid stubby legs that don't bend. Maybe it makes sense for Yoda, who's tiny, but Anakin has to be sitting in his pod. It's pretty ridiculous that he stands in it. You can't even have him lean forward to grasp the handlebars, which is very frustrating. Having said that, it looks right to have him be short. The original version, equally tall as Padme, looked strange. But they didn't have the short legs until Yoda was released a couple of years later, so they did the best they could. The printing on the torsos of both characters, as well as the faces, does a really good job of paying homage to the original. They removed the little freckles, if I'm not mistaken, from Anakin's face. No, they didn't. I am mistaken. They're on there. They're very faint, though, which I like. Gives that little boy look, but they're not the dominant feature. For Padme, this angry, disgusted face, her alternate face, if you're curious, is much more loving. Yeah. They made another new original hairpiece for Padme that is even closer to her actual hair. I think it looks better than the original did, but both are cool. Those are them from the front and the back. The final score with this completely arbitrary scoring system that I've been making up on the spot is original 1999 Podracer 7, 2019 Podracer 9. But let's get real. Right off the top, the new Podracer definitely deserves 1 point for the translucent beam connecting the engine to the pod, and another point for its electricity beam connecting the two engines. Ultimately, the new Podracer looks awesome. I'm so glad they decided to re-release this. It was definitely worth it. They took a set that was very, very cool and managed to make it even better. Thank you everyone for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Max Brickman, and I'll see you next time. And we are Jedi Knights. We draw power from the Force, using small microscopic life forms in our bodies called midichlorians. What? Midichlorians. Do you mean mitochondria? Be careful, Jar Jar. If your hand gets caught in those beams, it's gonna go numb for hours.
Okie dokie, Annie.
Are you an angel? What? An angel? What? Are you an angel? What are you talking about? You know, are you an angel? What?
Okie day.
What is going on with this guy's face? Ah! Anakin, run!
Missile try again. Oh.
What's it like being a slave? What do you think it's like being a slave? It's terrible. Alley-oop.